Good morning. Captain Calhoun speaking. You're on the lifeboat. Hello, YouTube. What is going on? Let's see if I can get my levels right here. Your pepper plants got pulled up by your pup, Dale. I'm sorry to hear that. That is unfortunate. We love the pups, even when they do stuff like that. Good morning, everyone. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, that's for sure, but we're going to do this thing. Hope you brought your journals because I'm going to share some of mine with you, and hopefully we're trying to figure out a way to journal together, but inevitably that is going to be like dead space. So I'll share some experience that I had this morning with my journal, and hopefully it'll benefit you guys. Lord Kiss Freak, what's going on, dude? Since you got that new job, we don't see as much of you, which is fine. I'm glad you got a good job, but we miss you, man. We miss you, brother. Robin Miners, Janet G, Bethany Saunders, we can hear you. Bethany, Jimena, hello. Always a pleasure. Sahuaro Christmas, Seventh Son, Dirty Mouse, Matrix, Rabbit, Flick Fox, Mara, Carry On, Dale Cox, of course. I was just journaling about a puppy this morning, Dale. I think I'm a little lonely, and a little pit bull puppy would keep me company. But I think some other things need to happen before I can go ahead and do that. Body Illusion, what is going on? Shannon Smith, hello. Izzy E, one of my favorite people. The newest nut, hello there. Andrea Malloy, hello. Heck yeah, guys. Good morning. Misbehaving, of course. Kathy Santoni, what's going on, guys? Good morning. It's a Thursday. It's my flow jam day. Pretty excited. Hopefully I feel good all day. I'm probably going to go even if I don't feel good because I regretted not going last time for not feeling good. Brianna Miller, hello. Good morning. Teresa, Layla. Happy Thursday, everyone. Yeah, I had some interesting dreams last night. Just grabbed a full nitrous tank, says Bethany. What time is it over there? I have to say. Renee Rainbow, hello. Yeah, I had an interesting dream last night. Shelly Kelly, hello there. Huzzah! I don't think I've ever said hello to you, but hello. Been journaling pretty consistently over the last 10 days, missed a day, and could feel the stress. It's amazing how much it helps in a short time. Thank you for the encouragement. Absolutely. And it's amazing how after you do it a little consistently, how much you feel a missed day, right? You get in the habit of having your thoughts all laid out and organized, and then you don't one day, and it's back to the brain tornado. Yeah, I had a dream last night. One of my exes that I haven't spoken about at all showed up in my dream, and I don't really remember a lot of the details, but I started journaling about it, and I think I have some unresolved emotions about this relationship or this girl or something, because I have to say, I have fond memories of her, but whenever she comes up in my mind in a memory, it's not a positive experience overall, right? So that tells me that there's some unresolved emotions here. And when I got up, I immediately started journaling. I journaled, dreamt of, wrote her name. I wrote some things I remembered about her. And then I started to talk about the dynamic that I experience in my memories. This, she seemed into me sometimes and not at others. Being an option, right? Started journaling about all this stuff. And even after all I did, I guess I was in a bad place. It's fine. She could have been honest with me, stuff like that. And then I started getting into, I think I'm lonely. Maybe I should get a puppy, And then reasons I can't have a puppy right now. And it's not going to work, but looking forward to it. And what this has done is not only simply get my ideas out of my head, right? But helps me remember so that I can glean the lessons from this experience. Because if you're like me, your thoughts are in and out. There's no guaranteeing that my thoughts are going to be up here. Also, on a side note, that's why when I have a creative inspiration, I immediately act on it because it'll be gone if I don't. But anyways, so I've gotten all of these thoughts out of my head. I have them written down so that I can remember them. And then on top of that, they're all organized. I can pick out like, all right, well, I obviously have some unresolved emotions here. I wonder why that is. Well, she was dishonest with me and I really liked her. And there's probably more to it. This isn't the end of the story. There's still unresolved emotions, but that is closer than I was this morning. That is far closer than I was this morning, right? I'm still admired by thoughts and emotions of this situation, of this experience with this girl. So, I will continue to journal about it. And also, I'm going to talk to you about it. Therapy Thursdays, baby. And that is how we're going to peel the onion. I figured a good example would be welcome. I would like to cultivate, find a way, create an activity where we can journal together, but I'm not entirely sure how that's going to pan out just yet. So this will have to do for now. Me and this girl dated after Lucy and I, and there's still tincture in there from yesterday. Imagine that. It's just the right amount now, though. I probably got 1 drop instead of 4. We met after Lucy. We met at a party. Kitty would be lower maintenance, but what I'm thinking, Shannon, is that like I'm gonna go house sit for Reese when they go on the cruise. So what am I gonna do with my dog and or Kitty at that time? And if I don't have a vehicle, that presents a problem for a dog, but not a cat. Because I want to be able to take my dog places, right? Coats and Crims, what's going on? We are funny. So I think a kitty would be better in some ways, right? But also my lease is up here in September and I don't plan on staying. So that being said, if I were to get a kitty now, I would move the kitty in like 3 months. So I don't think that's necessarily a good plan either. And again, I don't think being lonely is a good enough reason to get an animal, right? I need some things. I need to accomplish some things. An element of permanence is necessary, I think, for the animal. And to get a dog, which is what I really want to get, I'll definitely need a car, I think, so that we can go on hikes and adventures and stuff. I'm not going to be one of those people that brings a dog on a plane. Not that I have anything against those people, but it bothers me so much. I couldn't possibly wear those shoes. I also had some sea monkeys at one point in time, Brianna. That sounds real nice. Real low maintenance, right? I wish I could see them better, though. I wish they were actually like little monkeys in there. That would have been way cooler, I have to say. Did anyone ever have a chia pet? Chia? No? No takers on the chia? What was I talking about? Piano Mom, what's going on? Good to see you. I love kitties. I love kitty cats. I get enough kitty cat when I go to my friends' places and my dad's house. Dirty Mouse says you can take a little on hikes and adventures if you train them early. That is the plan. I will have the best trained dog on planet Earth when it happens. AWOL, Millie the Dandelion. AWOL. You definitely have permission to board. You definitely have permission, and it's totally fine. I know you live your own life, and I am so stoked that you're here. Bob Ross Chia Pet. That sounds magical. Deadpool Chia Pet. Oh, I'm so glad I brought this up. That's so funny. Scooby Lee, good morning. Yeah, guys, we met at a party, Nicole and I, and trying to remember the circumstances. It was a legendary party in Salt Lake. There's this underground music, dance, burner party scene where there's people that will rent warehouses, and will throw parties there and ride it till the wheels fall off until like the landlord gets sick of us, basically. And when I say us, I would just participate. I wouldn't organize these things at all. But I'm pretty good friends with the people that were doing this. There was a couple of different groups, but there was always like venues popping up, and you would hear, through the wire, through word of mouth, you'd hear about this new warehouse venue or whatever, and this party going down. And then inevitably one night, the police would show up and bust it up. And, that would be the end of that space, and we'd have to move to a different space. And it always went down a little bit differently, right? Some of them, we weren't doing anything wrong. We were using it properly and whatever, but the landlord decided, he didn't want to do it anymore or whatever. So, but we went through a lot of different warehouses, and I met her at one of these parties, and she was friends of my friends. Like we knew the same people, so it was easy to fall in together. But she was really sweet. She was a sweetheart, and we were really good together. But I definitely feel like there was some disconnect the whole time, and what it ended up coming down to was some dishonesty. And it wasn't like she would lie to my face. She would just not tell me stuff, and she would disappear. And it definitely, like, I felt like more of an option to her than like a partner, right? So maybe dishonesty is not the right way to say that, but just non-committal, right? Which is cool, but I was committed and I did that to myself. I put myself in a position to be hurt because it wasn't. I don't think that we were in the same place. I don't think that we were thinking the same way. I don't think we were viewing each other the same way. And I did a lot for this girl. I think part of the hang up is that I feel like I gave her a whole lot of myself, and I feel like it was thrown back in my face and not appreciated. Really, that's what really hurts, is I feel like it wasn't appreciated. There was this guy that she used to date who was stalking her, and I pretty much put an end to that. I didn't put hands on him or anything, but we had a conversation, and I was like, "Look here, man. You're going to quit doing this. She's asked you multiple times nicely. And if you don't, I'm going to tell everybody that what kind of creepy stalker you are." He did not like that, but he did stop. And it's interesting. I ran into him randomly much, much later at like a fundraiser I was doing for a friend. I was helping out a friend at a fundraiser that he was organizing. And I guess this person had also been picked up to help volunteer. And I pulled my buddy aside. I was like, "Yo, that guy has to go. Like, he's a predator." And we ended up getting into it. Apparently, he knew who I was and wasn't a big fan of me. He had already spoken to my buddy about me, and I was like, "Look, he's got to go." And he did. He left, which is great because I'm not trying to deal with that. But anyways, all of this, the purpose of this is to say that I have unresolved emotions. And that's probably why. I feel like I was taken for granted, sweet koala. That's right. And you know how we deal with that? I'll scroll up and look for your question, Blue Wave. The way we deal with that is we play the tape through. We journal about it. And at the end of the day, our goal is to accept that these things happened. We can't change them. It's over. It's done. This is a memory, right? It's not a present experience. This is in the past. You can't change it. So I accept, like, this is how it is, and it's okay. It's okay. I forgive myself and I forgive her. And hopefully that's enough. Hopefully that's enough to remove this blemish from my memory, right? I can look back on these things fondly from now on, hopefully. And if not, there's probably some more work that needs to be done, eh? Blue Wave, good to see you. You know what, dude? You can get the hell out of here. How about that? How about that? Missed your question, did I? You must have missed the mission statement here, bud. Anyways, back to some real stuff. And the last thing I wrote in my journal was, I forgive myself and I forgive her. In the future, mods, feel free to just ask people like that. Yeah, that's not a serious question. Layla Bradley says, "Thank you for sharing your personal journal entry and dream. It really helps to know how to process feelings through journaling." Absolutely. And I would have a lot more detail about my dream if I had immediately journaled. I definitely drug my feet this morning. I wasn't feeling super hot. So, that being said, if I write down my dream immediately, if I immediately get to it, I will not forget so much. And then it will paint a far different picture, more clear at least. Part of me definitely didn't want to remember all these memories, so I wasn't super keen on getting the journal out immediately. It's like a double-edged sword with the dreams. I talk about the dreaded family Christmas dream from time to time. No sweat, Shelly. Don't worry. I'm not getting on anyone's case. Yeah, it's all good. I got it. Forgot my place. Blah 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 blah. Well, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, we've been talking a lot about options and love and loneliness lately, so I think it's just been on my mind, and the romances that I have in my life are not sufficient. They're all long distance, periodic, bumping into each other's. I need to meet some Tucson people. And I'm hoping to go make some friends tonight at my flow jam. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because inevitably I'll meet somebody great. And right now, that's not the most important thing, right? The most important thing is to keep doing what I'm doing. The dreaded family Christmas dream. I tell you what, my little sister looked me right in the eyes and said something about "I'm disappointed in you." Dang, I can't remember the actual words. I have the whole dream written down, Dad. I can. We can go through it if you want, but man, that one crushed me. Just like the disappointment of my little sister and like the whole family against me. It was crazy. It started. I was flying a stealth jet, a Blackbird. I forget the code name, but those big black stealth jets that the U.S. used to have. I can pull up a picture. I flew to Christmas. I pulled up in the jet. Grandpa was outside with the orange sticks, like the airport. He was like, "All right, right here, land right here," and that was like a really cool start to my dream. But it ended up just being a bunch of family members disappointed in me hiding things from them, and then going through like a trapdoor portal, and all my friends were hanging out without me and having a great time and like not missing me. And then I went back into Grandpa's house through this trapdoor portal thing, and there was a bunch of things that happened in the house, but the sister being disappointed, the family being disappointed, me hiding things, and then all of a sudden I was like in a fight for my life. I was like somewhere else, and there was vampire hunters chasing me in like blacked out all-terrain vehicles with like huge tires and like just the craziest vampire hunting attire. And they hopped out of the truck as I was running and crossbowed me, and that's when I woke up. But I think the real takeaway there is the family disappointment. One of my greatest desires of all time has been to be enough, to be a part of, right? Because I guess I've always felt like I wouldn't be a part of or I wasn't enough. So that those closest to me in my dreams basically telling me I'm not enough and I'm not, I'm letting them down, crushed me. I couldn't sleep right for like a week after that. And that was my first dream journal experience. That wasn't the first time I wrote about my dream. That was just where writing my dreams down led. I think I had been writing them down for like a week or something like that, maybe even like 3 days. It didn't take long. Every day that I wrote a dream down, the next dream I would have would be that much deeper and more detailed. It was interesting. Boofing is putting drugs in your butt, Bethany. And we don't have anything against that. I mean, I guess people in their disease do what they do. But just the way that question was structured, they were just trolling. That wasn't it. Like he did not boof last night, and then now he doesn't know how to sleep. Like no matter how you intake that drug, you're not going to be able to sleep. So he's playing. He's just playing around. No worries. We crush people like that. We crush them. The iron fist of the boat. Carol Stewart, what's going on? Eventually, I would like a long-term relationship with Sweet Koala. And it is hard to find. I'm not in a hurry to find that, right? But some companionship would be cool. Dream ants. That is correct, RSM. That is exactly what we're talking about. And if we really want to break it down and get deeper into it, that the family Christmas dream, right? It was based upon my innermost fears, not being good enough, not being a part of, right? Letting my loved ones down. That whole dream was my subconscious trying to tell me, like, yo, you need to address this sentiment you've got. It's not serving, it's not healthy. My subconscious knows, and yours does too. So I mean, you could drive yourself crazy trying to interpret dreams. So I don't necessarily recommend that, but know that your dreams are definitely purposeful. You know what I mean? I wouldn't get hung up on what the purpose is, but knowing that they're important. Your body and your brain are running scenarios while you sleep to make sure you're ready. You know what I mean? That's what's happening. It's like a little training simulator that your brain does while you're sleeping to make sure you're sharp and tip top. So I think that dreams are valuable. I think that, again, you could drive yourself crazy trying to interpret them, but it is fun. It definitely is fun. Please hold. Oh, this coffee is so good, guys. I've been listening to DJ Screw today. I know that a lot of y'all probably aren't into rap, but man, some old Screw tapes, just throwing a random Screw tape, that is one of my happy places. That is one of my happy places. I'm going to be doing something on the computer while I talk to you guys for a second. I have a very important date. Just kidding. My very important date is with you guys right now. Does anyone have any fun weekend plans coming up? I'll tell you mine. I am going to go to my Flow Jam tonight, and then I would like to make my house company worthy and maybe get some company over here this weekend. But if that fails, I'll probably just hang out. On Sunday, I'm going to be doing a video hangout with my buddy. You guys actually saw him yesterday. At the end of the show, we did some fire videos. And my buddy with the giant staff, I ended up talking to him yesterday. And we're going to get together on Sunday. And we're going to flow together from digitally. So I'll turn the camera on, get a microphone going probably in my ear, and move the couch back. And we're gonna have practice like we used to, except we're not going to be in person. And I'm so excited. I can't tell you how excited I am. Got that sent out, and I'm back. Shiitake planned at the moment. What are you pairing it with? Scoob? Just shiitake? Just straight up shiitake? Mushrooms are great. I like mushrooms. Although I have to trick my brain if I realize that I don't know how to say that. It's kind of like shrimp for me. Sometimes I really like it, and sometimes I can't do it. Renee Rainbow says, I listened to Tommy's live about journaling while driving all day from Baltimore to Detroit. Then my cousin came back with me and left yesterday. Well, I hope that I'm glad we were able to keep you company on your long drive. That's one of my favorite things to do on a long drive is put something on like an audio book or a show, so to speak, talk show. I'm sorry to hear that, Dale. Let's get some ones up for Dale and anyone else out there that needs some thoughts and prayers, some good vibes. Yeah, man, the good ones seem to go. Yeah, Izzy. Speaking of, if you want to pop in, you're welcome to. Maybe not this Sunday. I think I want to do my thing with my guy, but we're probably going to end up, it's going to be a thing. I bet you other people jump in. I bet you we end up getting the crew back together. And if you would like to participate, you're super duper welcome to hang out with us and flow. It's pretty chill when we get together and do stuff. It is not hard to be inclusive the way that we practice. So, in fact, I'm sure that he would tell me to tell you to come through. So, going to extend that hand personally. Off to Pride this weekend with some friends, says Millie. Man, I miss Pride. I say that like I didn't celebrate it last year or anything. I celebrate it every year, and Salt Lake celebrates it pretty big. And I wonder what Tucson's going to be like. I don't know anybody out here, so maybe I'll find something to do. But we do parades, and there's lots of drinking and parties and all kinds of stuff. Oh, look at this. Look what we have. Oh, look at that. Uh-oh. I'm going to
Hey,
switch my headphones here, Pops, or I won't be able to hear you.
what's going on with you? You doing all right? He's not going to hear me for a while. Hey, everybody. Robin Miners, how are you? Renee Rainbow. I've actually been kicking it
Whatever.
for almost this entire show. So I've been talking to the crew, Calhouni, not you. I was telling them I've been here. I was going to say hi. I've been here for almost the entire show today. So I know who's here. But nice turnout for an early morning show. I'll tell you what, though. Boy, you killed it on yesterday's show, Calhouni. 4 digits.
Did I?
Bunches of views.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, good
I'd like
show.
to see it.
Hey, this dream stuff is one of the most fascinating things. And the reason I threw out that dream thing, Calhoun, is because it was the last thing you said before you said, I can't remember what I was talking about. I had never actually heard that story before you said it, but I knew that was the last thing you said before you started to. I do the same thing, man.
I can give you the detailed version later. I have the whole thing written down in my very first journal. The very first time I went to AA and got sober. It's actually
how cool is that?
Laying around here somewhere. I was reading it the other day. Yeah, I need a squirrel visit, says Robin Miners. Maybe I should come see.
There's a lot of truth to that, and you know what? We're going to do that. How's that?
I would like that.
We're
no
going
rush.
to do that.
I mean, obviously, right?
No, let's do it this weekend. We'll make a day of it and we'll film it. That'll be a pretty good time. She's a really, really funny animal. Different kind of funny than the other cats, but boy, oh boy, is this cat funny. Smart too.
Been watching your shorts. She is the cutest.
The wall walking one. She does that all the time.
Kristen Melinda, good morning.
Good morning, Kristen Melinda.
Cuca Vista, Miss Chicago.
She's going to meet her 10 o'clock. I love hearing her say stuff like that because she used to work for that grinder thing from the wall video. You know, that thing that just keeps grinding. She was part of that whole engine for a while. But she's one of those people that said, "I'm really uncomfortable working where I am. You know, this is a terrible industry," and then said, "I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to do this anymore." That's classy stuff.
I think about that often when I'm thinking about, like, what do I do? What do I want to do with my life? And I think about, well, being a movie star would be cool, or being a rock star would be cool. Then I think, well, would I be happy doing that? And you hear about all this subculture in Hollywood and in these industries that are talked about so poorly. And, I would never know until I actually experienced it. But I don't know if I could be happy just being rich. I think I would have to have some quality experiences every day.
There you go.
You know what I mean? I don't think I could go do something that I hated.
No, I don't think
something where I was treated poorly or like treated like an item. I don't think I could do that.
If you look at things like industries like the music industry or cinema, anything like that, I think the reason that there are so many excesses and so much partying and things like that surround those industries, I don't think it's because it's that, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, or, it's Hollywood, let's party. I think these people are miserable. In all honesty, I think that it's one of those industries where very often people compromise who they are and what they believe to get into the industry and to succeed in the industry. And that scars someone's soul. And I think a lot of the times, by the time they've been in it 4 or 5 years, they have to get wasted every single day just to be able to get up and do what they do. And I think that's tragic. I really do.
I'll tell you what,
and rock stars are the same way. That's a tough life.
I 100% refuse to sacrifice like me. You know what I mean? That's something I will not do. I definitely can. I was going to say cannot do. I can definitely do that, but I will not. It's not worth it. I feel like I've really tasted just a bit of just enough,
Shelly Kelly says, I wonder what celebrities do all day. I can tell you, they do the same thing that you do all day, except they don't work. So during the day, they take phone calls from all of the people who will not make a living without them. So their agent calls, their manager calls, right? Their accountant calls. All of those people call all day long. And because of the amount of money that these people generate, they are a business. They do become, whether they like it or not, a small business. And there's a bunch of people that keep that small business running. And I think it drives a lot of them to drink or to drug. The other thing, too, is people say, right now, if you ask kids getting ready to graduate high school, what do you want to be when you grow up? Sadly, one of the number one answers is either a video gamer or an influencer. And
gamers don't even make money. Like in order to make money being a gamer, you have to be like top 3. You have to be like one of the best gamers on the planet.
Or there are 50. The last time I read about this, they said 50,000 people a day put up a YouTube channel to do gaming on, ready to become the next PewDiePie or whatever. And that's a lot of competition, man. 50,000 people a day just joining, not all of the people that are already out there. But every day you got a freshman class of 50,000 people you got to compete with just to be recognized from the people you started with. Pretty ugly.
Izzy E says the music industry is a roller coaster between shady label contracts and the rush of being on stage, then alone with your thoughts in a hotel room. You got to have some serious support network, I have to say. And I bet you could probably count on your fingers how many famous people are doing this properly and not being miserable. Because I believe it's possible. Funny? I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. Can you?
I think there's a lot of really aging rock stars out there that are now on their second career, so to speak. It's like their second incarnation of being a rock star, or as they sort of evolve, I guess. When the Eagles came on back on tour and did the Hell Freezes Over tour, they were interviewing them and they said, is it getting back together? What is the most different thing? How does this differ more than anything else? And all of them said, well, usually we're in bed by 9 o'clock. Like we go back to the hotel room and check in with kids and grandkids, and it's just a job, right? And now they have a perspective on all of those people that are out there yelling, "Oh my God, you're the greatest thing in the world." They realize that that's all BS and they're not really the greatest thing in the world, even if those people think they are. I think that eventually they get the perspective of this is all kind of silly. And if they don't, a lot of them crash and burn, I think, or they run the hell away. There are people that just straight walked away, right at the top. People just said, yeah, this is silly. I don't want to, I really don't want this many people everywhere you go. I think people think famous would be a lot of fun. I don't know how fun famous would be, to be honest. I think it would probably be more frightening than it would be fun.
Sweet Koala says famous people are ordinary people with too much money.
Well, sometimes they may not even necessarily have too much. There are some famous people out there that aren't well off anymore. Yeah, there are a lot of really famous people who are still broke. What
MC
they
Hammer.
are, yeah, MC Hammer is a great example. Although, from what I understand, Hammer has made back they did some kind of a tour thing to get him a little cash.
I heard that as well.
Yeah.
Robin Miners raises an interesting point. Gamers now have agents to secure their endorsements. You need over 100,000 to even be considered. It's a very competitive industry. I mean, when you think about it, who doesn't want to play games for a living, right? I mean,
I guess, you know why I can't wrap my brain around that?
I would have a hard time telling my significant other, like, yeah, I'm a gamer.
Well, there's that. But I have no perspective because for my, gaming for me was like, asteroids. Yeah, asteroids. No, Need for Speed was, I played that with you. I had a lot of fun. We played a lot of Need for Speed. That was
my dad taught me how to do a pit maneuver when I was, I think, 10 years old on the PlayStation 1. You
were younger than that. You were younger than that.
I was pit maneuvering the cops left and right.
Yeah, you started driving on that. I think we were in Texas.
You think? 2 years old? I don't know.
No. We didn't leave Texas until you were 5.
What?
Yeah, 4 or 5 when you left Texas. What's that? No, it's not. You lose track of. where you are at certain time frames. But we got to Utah. You had 1 year there, and you went into first grade. So we must have got there when you were about 5.
I am surprised you didn't bring up Galaga.
You know what? I was getting there.
Yeah, it's like your favorite game of all time.
It is an amazing game. It's so much fun. But that to me is video games. And what Spanky and probably a lot of you do as well is there you go, Robin Miners, Asteroids, Defender, Pac-Man. You know what was great about Defender? I think to this day, Johnny Scoville has the highest score ever clicked on that game. When we first got it with Atari, right? There's a little city down below, and you can your ship can go down underneath the city. If you go down below in the right spot, you can just leave your ship there. Nothing can get at it. So Johnny would park that ship, go down and eat, do what he does, and then come back up and start playing it again. And he managed to do this for three weeks or so, just going to school, then coming home and playing Defender, and weekends, and just really the score was just ridiculous. Like it was getting to the point where they were going to run out of digits, places to put it. Miss Chicago, that's because you have great taste. Miss Chicago says, my favorite too. I assume you mean Galaga. Great game. Great game. You know why it's your favorite, right? Because we're all of that age. Mara's correct. A lot of comedians are actually really depressed. Kind of sad, don't you think?
Robin Miner says, famous people stay low profile. It's hard to tell the friends from the users. I would like to think that I would be able to tell, but who knows? Who knows? The pressure is probably quite overwhelming. It's probably a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
At a certain level. But
Frogger was great, Candy. Frogger was awesome. I cannot take anything away from Frogger. And I loved the sound effects and the music for Frogger too.
Played a fair amount. Dude, a good soundtrack will change a video game.
How about Tetris?
The original soundtrack.
Oh, that drove people insane.
I used to love the Mega Man sounds that they would have on the games, the music from the Mega Man games.
See, 8-bit, would that be like, is that Atari? Is that what he's talking about?
Yes.
See, I don't know. I honestly know nothing.
8-bit refers to the quality of the image, and it's how many pixels per something. So like what we're looking at is, I think 64-bit, but 8-bit. Here, I can pull up an example.
So Super Mario Brothers, the very first one, that game was about 9 months old, I think, when my freshman year in college. And you talk about bad timing. I mean, for real, you got any idea the number of people who failed out of school because of Super Nintendo and a bong? Shadowrun was fantastic, for the record. It was a great game.
Didn't they make a tabletop Dungeons and Dragons version of that? Shadowrun?
They may have.
That's what 8-bit looks like.
Home sweet home. Home sweet home. Okay, so the graphics weren't for smoking. But yeah, Lord Kiss Freak, I had Pong. Pong was just ping pong, Calhoun. You had a little joystick kind of setup.
I've totally played a new age version of it. I've seen it, just not with like a joystick. We used to play the X-Wing TIE Fighter simulator with a joystick back in the day. Grandpa got me on that. Yeah. Yeah,
your grandfather was always had like the really top equipment. He was very into it. He was super into different kind of gaming, but he was always really into it.
He'll, from time to time, when we speak, he'll tell me that he was playing Command and Conquer Generals the other day, and I just think that's so hilarious. He's just over there waging war in his free time.
I think that's great. I really do. I think that's great. You know what? I don't want to out the guy or put him on blast, but he's that dude. Like when he moved to Utah, he went out, got a pair of boards, right? Went up the hill, started skiing. I got mad respect for your granddad. I really do. He's got cast iron balls.
He is doing all right. He reached out yesterday to tell me he wanted to help me out with my teeth.
Nice. How cool is that?
Yeah, really cool. Also, I guess Lucy's bank sent them that they didn't know how to get a hold of Lucy, and there's like $158 of unclaimed funds that she needs to claim. So he also wanted her information so that he could get her money. So I gave him that. You know what's funny is that money's probably mine, but I don't care, and it's not worth the smoke. So I told him to
it
give her my
certainly isn't.
best.
Yeah, that's, you know what? That's the classy move anyway, man. That's the classy move anyway. You know what? Space Invaders, that was another one that the sound, ding, 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 wah, 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 wah. Boy, oh boy, those sound effects back in the day, man. And you know what? It was so unique because what did we play? We played pinball, right? So you walked into one of those places where people are slapping pinball and maybe there's Pong or whatever, and you started hearing like, wah, 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 wah. Pac-Man, you could hear that crap from half a football field away. And you know what I mean? It was like hearing slot machines at a casino. Everybody was all in. It was like, all right, it's game time.
It's time.
Izzy says, you don't have to be good to enjoy gaming. I beg to differ, right? I beg to differ because I used to play with my son who would go, come on, Dad, let's play. Come on, come over here and play. And then I would go over there and try to mash 6 or 7 buttons. And he would pick me up, body slam me, you know, rip me arm from arm, and then just laugh hysterically. And I'd go, all right, we'll give this another try. And I would do that for about 30 or 40 minutes until I would wear him out a little. But I don't think I ever even hit him in a game. I don't think I ever even scored a point in a game.
You definitely hit me. We didn't play a ton of fighting games. It was more Tony Hawk and Need for Speed. It was more fun when you were competitive.
Tony Hawk was fun. That really was a lot of fun because you could design your little skater. And we had a pretty good time with that. But just video games in general, it was always funny to me because I don't know what I was, right? Mid-30s or something at that point. And, you know, my 6 or 7-year-old is on the ground just light years ahead of not only the game, but of the understanding of the game. And yeah,
lighten you up.
Oh yeah, no, it was just very, very different. And I used to love, honestly, I would sit on the couch and just marvel at the hand-eye coordination. You know what I mean? And that's not just for my kid, but watching any of those kids with the thumbs and the fingers. It's like, good God in heaven, man! It's playing an instrument could not be more difficult than watching, but it's second nature. You know what I mean?
Check this out. I just had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
So hand-eye coordination is a valuable skill, right? But when applied to video games, you're not getting very far with it, right? I think that at an early age, it was very exciting for me to play games, you know, and I definitely developed like some critical thinking, you know, it's like some skills from doing so. But applying those skills to real life stuff was not even close to as exciting as applying it to video games. And I don't think that served me. I didn't draw that connection until right this second, right? I'm 32 years old. But, you know, it's interesting. I don't know what to do with that thought. That's all.
No, but that's what you do is you write it down and you work and explore. And that's the kind of thing you do. 300 IQ Wizard says Need for Speed 1 on PS1 was the crashes were epic. I would play it just to set up crashes. 300.
You must be a Burnout fan.
Yeah, 300 IQ Wizard. If you remember, when did that come out? That first Need for Speed.
I can find out.
I'd be really curious. I'd be curious to know exactly when that happened because that would give me a pretty good idea of when, of where you were when we started playing that game.
We were in Salt Lake playing it. I remember because you told me I needed to get good grades at school and you'd buy me a PlayStation. And I did.
Well, yes. But here's one of the things that I've talked about this all the time on the boat. And sometimes people will say, it's the Mandela effect. For it to be the Mandela effect, you have to have a bunch of people that are all experiencing the same thing. But as you begin to age, there will be memories. And I don't know what happens. It's like your brain kind of short circuits or whatever. And I've told the story on here. One of the first hearings that they ever did for someone who was going to be trying to get onto the Supreme Court. One of the first ones they ever televised so you could watch it. And now all of a sudden it was like 95. I think, that's about what I would have guessed. Somewhere in there. What was I just saying, Calhoun? Man, my brain is shot.
I'm still trying to figure out. They've remade that game so many times. I can't figure out what year it was made.
Well, they're guessing 1995, and I would say that that's probably in the ballpark.
I think I was in 3rd grade, so that would be. I'm not doing that math today, dude.
It would be long. It would be long past 95.
Yeah,
it would be long past 95.
I was 3 years old, 95. No, it was 3 or 4 years after that, at least.
Piano Mom was playing Rock Band and Guitar Hero. Now that's just funny. I'm sorry.
That's how I discovered Behemoth, believe it or not. A black metal
find
band
that
on
funny.
Guitar Hero. Mortal Kombat was another cause of fights with my brother. Lol. I played a lot of Mortal Kombat as well. Only at friends' houses, though. I wasn't allowed to play.
We let you play it at the house. We did let you play it at the house. In fact, when you got suspended, I let you play it.
That may have been true. Mom wasn't a fan of a lot of stuff.
Correct. I had to keep it in a drawer, but when Mom wasn't around, I could pull that out and let you play with it, which was probably a terrible life lesson as a dad, right? To do the shh. You can play this, don't tell anyone. But I don't think I was hitting it out of the park at that point anyway.
Bethany Saunders says, I've been doing whippets for the last 3 hours. Am I a bad person? I feel like I'm not. I just probably should quit. I don't think it makes you a bad person.
No, that's two different subject matters completely. One has nothing to do with the other. What you are is a person who's been getting high for the last 3 hours.
Yeah.
And NO2, nitrous oxide, it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. Here's the thing. Please be careful. The problem that it is like hippie crack, so we used to call it. The problem with that stuff is that it tends to make your lips turn blue, right? You've probably seen that. I used to sell big balloons of it on tour, right? The dead.
You know why that is, right?
Yeah, because you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain. Hypoxia, right? You're not getting enough oxygen to the brain because instead of oxygen, you're getting that nitrous oxide. So if it's me, I don't know. It is a fun buzz, but then again, what isn't a fun buzz, right? The thing with nitrous oxide, it does not last very long. It's over, but it's a very interesting. In my mind, it's a very interesting drug. When people come and say, hey, I've been doing whippets. It's a pretty odd thing if whippets are the only thing you do in your life, Bethany. And I don't mean that with any disrespect, but most people don't come upon whippets and go, my drug of choice. Normally, whippets is something that people do because it's another buzz, but usually by that point, you've probably been experimenting for a while. I think, as I would recommend to everybody else, start looking at why you're doing the things you're doing. I've never been able to figure that out on my own. It's always been with me having a very deep conversation with someone or having a deep conversation with myself via a journal. Brianna Miller says, is that the same as dust off? No. Nitrous oxide is an actual substance. It's laughing gas. It's what they give you in a dentist office, but they cut it with oxygen. If you cut it with oxygen to make sure the person's getting enough, you can lower them down and basically knock them out. Right? And keep them still alive, but take them to the point of unconscious so that you can do procedures. That's done all the time.
From a buzz standpoint, that's optimal. But, they don't make that stuff for people to get a buzz. So the stuff you buy is not cut with oxygen. It's just nitrous oxide.
Correct. And Amy said, I heard whippets are flavored oil and not nitrous. That's not true.
They do make flavored whippets, though.
They do make flavored whippets, to be sure, right? But the way that you know that it isn't, they use that for carbonation, right? There is a reason that whippets exist, and it's not just to breathe them in and get high. Right?
Yeah, no, it's for cooking.
Well, and you put it into these little things, and all of a sudden, all of the water in there just became seltzer. And the reason it does is because that chemical exists in there. If it was just if it was dust off or something like that, that wouldn't happen. But dust off is really bad stuff. All it is compressed air. But whatever they're using as the propellant, people breathe that in to get high, is a different animal. Nitrous oxide is doing something in the brain other than starving it of oxygen, which is really all that dust off is doing, is starving your brain of oxygen so that you're getting enough brain damage to feel a buzz. No bueno. Really, really bad stuff.
A little brain damage.
On every hit, right? On every hit.
Living in the gray area. Good morning. I think I always end up showing up during these times when it makes sense to say, learning I'm autistic, ADHD at almost 40, helped understand my dependencies and need to escape. Much love living in the gray area. Thanks for sharing.
and it's the lesson for every single thing we talk about on this boat every single time, no matter what we are doing. It is the same stuff used in cans like Cool Whip. It is, except you don't have anything but the gas, the propellant itself, right? Everything on this boat keeps coming back to the same thing, right? You're trying to. This is a journey of exploration, right? And what you're exploring and is the depths of your psyche and the depths of your brain. That's what we're doing here. We're trying to figure out who the hell we are. And along the way, we're probably going to lose a little weight, stop snorting blow, right? All of those other things that are really nice. By the way, Calhoun, we won 2 appeals yesterday from the Big Red Button. Yeah, we won 2 appeals yesterday from the Big Red Button. And that always feels good because now they're realizing that we're not here trying to advocate for the party lifestyle. We're actually something different.
I would hope so, man. It bums me out when I hit review and then a couple days later it's like, we confirmed by manual review, which is a lie. If someone manually looked at it, they would know.
Absolutely.
It's like, dude,
Absolutely.
come on.
Let me tell you something about manual reviews. If you can get a human being to speak to you on the Big Red Button, you're a genius. Or you've got some kind of juice card, or I don't know, the moon was in the 7th house and Jupiter had aligned with Mars, right? And all of that stuff because, damn, didn't they call that huffing before? Shelley Kelly, it was called huffing when they were doing it with something that wasn't kind of propelled. I mean, people, yeah, I guess have done it with like the sprays that they use in bathrooms or whatever. But this stuff is really different because it's just, they're just taking it straight in. They're not putting it in a bag. They're not doing anything like that. But yes, it is huffing. It's all the same. And they even, like if they're talking in drug terms or at therapy, they will even call, they'll call NO2, they'll call nitrous huffing. Now, nitrous is definitely a lot different than, say, huffing, hairspray or doing some of the other stuff. It's different. It really is. And I saw where, I think it was Jimena said when she was in Amsterdam, there were people selling balloons full of the nitrous on a boat. That's usually how it's sold at concerts and at places because you'll buy a big, Glade or a spray paint. You buy a big canister that you can get like 1,000 balloons out of. And you just sit and do it that way. That's a great idea. Some of the computer spray has a chemical added to make the taste unbearable. That's genius. It's meant to deter people from getting high. Genius. Why the hell didn't they do it a long time ago? Brianna says Steve-O was really addicted to whippets. He probably did a buttload of them. I'm sure that he did a buttload of them. It'd be a really tough drug to get literally addicted to, but I bet he did a lot of them. Bethany says, I used to huff paint thinner. I definitely do not recommend it, but it will get you higher than an eagle on ether. Yeah, that is what this is something that I saw for the first time in my life. I saw it in prison. Where I did drugs growing up, huffing was not a thing. Everybody was far more interested in smoking pot. Like that was pretty much it. But when I got into prison, in fact, I probably facilitated it because I worked in the kitchen, sadly. But we had this glue that we were putting stuff up on the wall with. And when I told people about it, a guy said, I'll buy as much of that as you can get back here. And that's what they were doing was.
Here I have something from Lord Kiss Freak that we're going to share.
Okay. Let's see it.
Lord Kiss Freak sent me some photos of him at work, I imagine.
Oh man, his toys are incredible. Wait till you see this.
Dude, look at this, yeah. I'm gonna zoom in.
Yeah, look at the size.
Son of a biscuit. Here, I'm actually.
Go to the next one. I'll bet you.
I've got it. I have a zoom function.
Well, and you know what, Calhoun? I have to blow my schnoz. I'll be right back.
All right, go get him, Tiger. That's fine, I guess. Please hold, people. We're doing lots of stuff we don't normally do today, so that's why it's different. Where's the other one? There we go. There we go. Oh, we could have just done it like that this whole time. I'm really excited to.
Holy mackerel! I blame the cat. Now, if it wasn't for the cat. Yes, the orange bottle tester's glue. You know something? What's crazy? I had model airplanes as a kid. I had airplane glue as a kid. I didn't. It was not something I knew you could catch a buzz off, or I pretty much guarantee I would have done it.
Dude, look how big that thing is. It's a building with wheels.
It is a building with wheels, and I'll tell you something else, man.
And we've also got this one over here. Oh,
If
wait.
you see it from the back of it, like the dump part of the dump truck, you could put an 18-wheeler in.
I was zooming in on the wrong friggin' photo, guys.
Mara, I loved the smell of the mimeograph machine. When I was in elementary school, like if you were really good, like if you did everything right, you got to go into the office and help them do that, where you would just sit there and crank that thing. I loved that smell.
Lots of movement, huh? Look at this.
I know, right?
Pressing buttons.
Bethany says, I
presser.
love the smell of a fresh Sharpie. He says it's 26 feet wide. Look at that thing. It literally does look like it's ridiculous, man. Look at the size of the tires.
That was the 300% zoom. Ooh.
Here's the frightening part of this. You do know the frightening part of this, right? They let Lord Kissfreak drive this thing. Right? I mean, for real. I love the guy, but would you put him behind the wheel of a house? Right? A big house.
He seems to be doing all right.
No, he's got the hang of it, but holy mackerel. I mean, we're talking about a very, very large...
LKF says, that's my work truck.
Yes. Yeah. You're not taking it home for lunch, though. I mean, let's keep that real. I mean, it is at work truck, right? Nobody's going, where did Kiss Freak go? He took the truck down to 7-Eleven. He said something about getting some chewing tobacco and a Slim Jim.
12-foot tall tires, he says.
How funny would that be, though? Would that not be great to pull that puppy up somewhere? Charlie Mullins, there you are, man. Charlie, I was journaling last night, and I don't know why. Right, the weirdest things happen with the human mind. But I was journaling last night, and you came to mind, and like all of a sudden, I couldn't think about anything other than Charlie Mullins. And so I spent a little time writing about you and praying for you, bud, meditating about you. Don't know why, but you came directly to my head. See, Renee Rainbow said, "Wow, I did airplane glue as a teenager. Scared my sister one time. I was so out there." Well, that is one of the things about huffing, is that it really does. You know, they're out there. It's not a normal kind of buzz. Yeah, I love two-stroke gasoline. I love the smell of a two-stroke motorcycle. Love that. Jimena wants to get in that truck and drive around. What's that, Colin? He is off like a herd of turtles. Yeah, I know. This is because as I know, as a little boy, like I used to look at things like, like big Caterpillar machines and dump trucks and things like that. And Spanky was the same way. When he was a little kid, if I took him to a construction site where guys were working, I could just sit him and his eyes would get this big and he would just focus in on all of the stuff. Like it was better than television. It was better than anything in the world.
Ow.
Wow. That was a terrible noise. You all right?
Yeah, it was my elbow hitting my glass table.
Ow. That truck can haul 260 tons. Did you hear that? 260 tons.
I have a hard time grasping exactly how much that is.
It's the amount of heroin I did in the last 9 years that I was using.
Yeah,
it would
a lot.
He could probably get it in the back of that truck, but it would be a tight fit. Yes. See, Jimena says, I love construction sites. I'm telling you, as a kid, it was like crack. Spanky would look at it and his eyes would triple in size. And that's all he wanted to do. I mean, that and nothing else. And I can't blame him. They're a lot of fun to look at. But I dug them. We're talking about those huge vehicles. Like when you were a kid, I said I would take you to construction sites. And if there was a backhoe or there was a dump truck or things like that, you would just you would glaze over, your eyes would get huge, your hands would start doing this number. You know what I mean? Just get all excited, which I think is really funny.
That's funny. Oh, to be a child.
Has it got the twin turbos? No, Dale. He actually went with the LE model, so no turbos, and it doesn't have the Landau roof. But he's hoping that when he gets the next one, right, he's going to go for the drop top.
Sweet Koala says, just imagine doing groceries with it. I tell you what, I could use any sort of truck for groceries these days.
That would be good.
Did a small trip to the grocery store on the bus yesterday. Made it home just before the rain.
And it rained yesterday like a cow going to the bathroom on a flat rock.
Yeah.
I've got a few errands that I have to run today toward that direction, Calhoun. So maybe I'll come down and we'll go shopping together. Sweet.
I would like that.
Candy wants to be a gold miner. Can't say I blame you. Can't say I blame you. You do have to figure that the inside of that thing is probably decked out. Like I remember when the snowcats, the things that they groom the trails with. If you ever get inside one of those, like the Bombardiers or any of the really nice, you get inside those things. They are the sweetest interiors. You can set the temperature to the exact, like you want it to be 77, you can just set it to 77.
When I worked up at Brighton, I made friends with a couple of the Snowcat guys. That would be such a sweet gig, man. I tell you what, I would be really into it, but it's a tight-knit community up there, and there's much more qualified people applying for it.
Not only is it a tight-knit community, but it's a...
You kind of have to know somebody.
And you kind of had to have grown up there. And I'm not saying that you need to be a Mormon, but it really helps if you're a Jack Mormon, because most of them don't believe, but they did all grow up in that life. I knew a lot of the cats that drove the groomers up there. We used to go up at night, and they would throw the lights on, and I mean you can only do about 100 yards, and then you get out of but it's a good time.
I'm pretty sure that the culture at Snowbird may have been like that, but Brighton is there's no religious stuff going on over there. It's like the stoner haven.
I don't know. These were stoners, but it was a fraternity of people that all grew up in the exact same place, they had the same lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying? None of them were practicing, but it was like I got a job as a ski patrol, and I was an outcast from Jump Street. It was just one of those things. And I mean, I didn't care, but they definitely all grew up together. And it's, I enjoyed it though. And it's, if you could get the gig, it's one of the greatest gigs in the world, for real. You just sit and drive around all night in the beautifully air conditioned vehicle, and one that you basically can't get stuck. If you can get one of those stuck, you literally are an idiot. It's a tank, it has tracks. They're pretty gnarly.
Candy's Life says, I bet I could live in one of those, Tommy, and still have space.
Yeah, no question. I'm telling you, the whole minimalist thing, I think there's something to that. Johnny Scoville's that dude. Johnny Scoville wants, you ever seen those mini mansions? Like they're not much bigger than than a storage container, right? But they're just, they deck these things out, and they're so intelligently designed that everything in there works in such a way that you've maximized the size just ridiculously. There's no wasted space. I think that's kind of a cool. I like the concept. I don't know that I could live in it.
Yeah, I mean, living mobily sounds fun, but the actual application is very different than it seems in your imagination, I think.
Piano Mom says, Killington is cool. Paid for electrical license for my son. I probably know a lot of people he worked with. The Killington is it's a great mountain. I've known people that, my whole life, probably the same people but I know people that have been working up there, my whole life.
I'm curious about the electrical codes here in Arizona, because my place doesn't have a smoke detector, and in Utah, that's against code. I wonder if codes are different here. I mean, they're most assuredly different here, but I wonder if that's not in the code here, or if this place is not up to code. Has me curious for sure, though. I
That is
noticed that
interesting.
immediately when we walked through. By the way,
Maybe we should get you a little battery powered one, because that's kind of freaking me out now.
is it?
Yeah. Brianna Miller says one of those cats would be perfect for the zombie apocalypse. Yes, right. But can you lock yourself inside it? Because you really, you want. You ever seen the things that they transport money in, like the armored cars? They've got
Yeah,
a
I was
couple of
about to pull up a picture of my zombie apocalypse vehicle.
your dream vehicle.
Oh yeah, dude, something
You
like
have a
this.
dream vehicle for the zombie apocalypse.
I mean,
You're
this is
doing
a
too much.
terrible idea because of
You're
how much
doing too
gas
much.
it would take, but just imagine gas not being an issue, and then you pull up in this.
Wow.
You just run it over, whatever.
Whoa.
Stuck in the tires.
And
For
a bargain.
$83,000, it could be
A
yours.
bargain at $83,000. You realize the amount of petrol you got to put in one of those too?
Yeah,
I
we're
mean, for
pretending
real.
that that's not an issue. I don't think that this would be feasible, actually, but it would
Yeah.
be fun. It
Are
would
we in
take
the
a
same
ton.
house? How bizarre would it be, Sweet Koala, if we were in the same house, but we were just filming from different rooms? No, we're not that messed up. I would just sit next to him. No, I'm about 3 miles up the street.
Yeah,
Mara
we're
says, I
not.
need some good security cameras. What kind did you put up for Reese? Are they Wi Fi? And do you have to pay a monthly fee? Well, in answer to that question, there are two complete systems there. There is one that is wireless, and there's one that is hardwired in and has. I mean, honestly, I wasn't joking when I said that place is like the Kansas City org. I mean, we really have got that thing wired up. But the next time I go live, I will tell you the name, or I'll put it into the Dropbox, the whatever you call it thing, the box that drops down.
That box that drops.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I could put it in there, but yeah, I will try to get it in there for you.
I just found out that my morning coffee with Spanx video the other day was questioned, and I guess it was sharing revenue. I guess I let a song play for like a minute at the very end. I just learned you can take action. One of the actions is remove the song but leave other audio like speech. I clicked on that and it went ahead and did it. So I
Okay.
don't think I have to worry that much about music. I can just press the buttons.
Well, here's the thing. If you start doing it constantly, then they can give you a strike. They usually are very cool about just, hey, take that down and don't worry about it. But it's different, Mara, I'll give you, like I said, I'll get the name up there. It's a great system. The crazy thing is this: they're wireless, right? So you go and you plug them in and you charge them, and you think to yourself, well, that's great, but how often am I going to have to take it and put it back in the house and charge it? Sorry. We put them up before I left, right? The battery shows 4 bars, right? It's still on 4 bars. These things have not, the battery has not even shown that it's starting to, yeah.
You
It's not
good?
even moving yet. Not even moving yet, which is kind of crazy.
Bethany Saunders says, I also don't trust the booch anymore these days because of the risk of fentanyl. It's a scary thing. Didn't used to be like that. You want to touch on that,
Well,
Dad?
yeah, here's what it comes down to. You can't trust anything anymore. Hey, squirrel nut zipper. You can't trust any of the stuff anymore, because now we're working with a very, very compromised drug supply. And sadly, it's not even fent these days that we really need to worry about. The nice thing about fent is that there are test strips that can test for fent, and they're pretty accurate, and they're pretty easy to get. Right? We don't have those yet for the drugs that are in the nitazines, that class of drugs. We don't. There's nothing out there to test yet, and that's frightening, because it's the cheapest of all of the bathtub opiates, right? And it's killing people. It's killing people left and right. I don't think it's Blink or Ring, Mara. I could be wrong. I know we have a Ring camera there, but that's not, the system is considerably different than just Ring. But I will get it for you. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I apologize. But yeah, I wouldn't trust anything. What it costs to make blow in South America, right? You got to grow massive fields of coca plants. Then you got to take them. You got to soak all of those in chemicals, which are going to evaporate the chemicals, right? Because they're left out for periods of time. And you're talking about gasoline or diesel fuel. Very, very time-consuming and costly process. I mean, it's not costly when you consider that, a kilo is worth $25,000 or something like that. But you can make the exact same thing in a lab in China for pennies. And I promise you, they're not going to ever go the natural route if it's cheaper to do the garbage route. So right now, the black tar isn't black tar, right? They're just making fugazi crap where they'll take corn syrup, boil it down, right, off of Coca-Cola, boil it down till it's almost nothing, and that hard, sticky, disgusting mass, and they throw a little something in there for smell, right, a little vinegar, and then they put in some cut, and it's cut that will really get you going. Puka Vista, thanks, I'll keep that in mind. As I said, we have a hardwired system to the house, and we have a wireless one. And if you think I'm, anyway, Ring's batteries are switchable. I have not very up on any of those. Vampire is a look you could go for to stand out. You could go with that, Ben. What do you think, Spanx?
I mean, he'd be a really tall vampire with huge hands. I mean, that's fine, I guess. I was just trying to find a fire video to share, but there's so many. They're so numerous, it's hard to pick. So that's why I was being quiet. We ended yesterday with some clips of the old crew. But I guess I'll have to pick them out in advance.
That's probably the smart thing to do anyway, because if not, there's always the chance that, you miss something, or, it's always scary when you're showing something here and there's all of this stuff that goes on behind it. That's most of the mistakes I've made on YouTube, I've made that way. Right. You know what? Bacon Bits, honestly, if I were to go for a new look, Vampire is not such a bad one. Although you don't see a lot of bald vampires. They usually have a great set of dark hair. Handsome bastards.
Bunch of fake hair. Nosferatu was bald.
True, but he's not the type that he's the real vampire, and that's not cool. I want the vampire that looks like he just came back from from clubbing in LA. That's the vampire I'm looking for. The cool
clubbing
one.
in LA.
Yeah,
have you ever told the full body mohawk story on this channel?
I think I probably have.
That's one of my favorites.
Whenever
we talk about vampires, I think of that story because that was your costume that day.
Yeah. The full body mohawk. Just Chris, my friend Chris Long was capable of doing the full body mohawk. There's a time in my life where I probably could have too, but now you've got this the cul-de-sac now would probably be a bit of a problem. I still grow hair there. Calhoun. I just look like Papa Moose. I got like 14 hairs. You know what I mean?
Oh man. I mean, you didn't need a bunch of hair there anyway.
Right?
I'm starting to get hairs connecting my nipple hair, which is pretty cool.
Well, there you go. That's
I'm a real boy.
See, that's what 300 IQ was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Nosferatu. Okay. All right. Well, he's an ugly, George Hamilton vampire, like that kind, right? That's more the look I was thinking, or what's that cheesy vampire series that every kid in the world loved for a while?
I forget what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Well, they all had great hair.
And the boys.
Was there anybody there that didn't have great hair? Nothing further. The vampire look is hot. See that? Dirty Mouse agrees. Mara thinks you might have tossed a little too much info out there with the nipple hair stuff. See, look at that. That's what we're looking for. Come on. Look at that head of hair. I couldn't pull it off, man. I could bite a lot of necks. No problem with that.
The neck biter.
Yes, full body mohawk. This is funny on a next level to me. Well, Izzy,
It was a Halloween costume.
You really needed to see it. It was, and this was pre Borat or anything else. But I wish you could have checked out the. It was fairly impressive. Twilight. Thank you. Candy's Life says The Walking Dead. No, but that's a great guess. Not too many handsome. The Walking Dead to me. Every time I watch that, right, within the first 5 minutes, I'm just thinking to myself, everybody needs a shower. For real, they all just look gamey. Like even if the girl's attractive, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I can smell her through the TV screen. There's just something about those like dystopian movies where everybody, for the entire time, nobody looks like they ever got clean. I don't know what it is, but I can't groove to it. Like I hyper focus on that. I'm like, zombie apocalypse came and you couldn't finagle a shower. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so this is your future. You still got to clean up, for the love of God, man. Shower. It's like 5 episodes and the dude's got dirt on his face through all 5. Come on.
Here, I actually found a good one. We watched a clip like this yesterday, but I didn't succeed. This is where I lit my friend's toy with my whip. So he catches my fireball with his toy. This one I succeed.
That to me is frightening.
Yeah, dude, he caught that sucker one more time. It's pretty quick, and it's kind of off camera, but that is the coolest thing. Every time it works, it's the coolest thing to me.
Yeah, it's really bizarre, but it is fire.
It is fire. Hot
I'm afraid
fire.
of fire, man. I am afraid of fire. My son is not in the slightest. But are you familiar with the Fallout series?
Yeah, I'm a big fan, actually. Why?
Because someone just said, I just finished the Fallout series. Felt the same way. Apparently, they're not doing a lot of showering and bathing in that series as well.
Well, it's post-apocalyptic. I think that they were going for realism with that aspect, which is interesting because in that universe, there's the vault dwellers, which are people with money before the bombs fell, bought their way into these vaults to survive. So they're very clean. And then everyone else that didn't get into a vault is very dirty. You know what I mean? So they I think, went to extra lengths to depict that there were people that were in the vaults that, are kind of like the goody two-shoes. They're kind of ignorant. They don't really know what's been going on because they've been in a vault for so long. But when they come out into the world, there's a great disparity in the cleanliness of them. And the main character chick from the vault ends up getting pretty dirty. But anyways. It's pretty dirty. It's a dirty show. Gory, gross.
This just cracks me up. I'm sorry. But Dirty Mouse says, every time I see a love scene in an apocalypse movie, all I can think of is bladder infection. Sorry. It's just something really romantic about the post-apocalyptic. I don't know. Look, if the ship hits the sand, right? If the boat hits the iceberg, everybody's going to be running for food and all of that stuff. I'm securing a very good way to wash and clean myself, right? I might only live a week, but I'm going to look good for that week. I'm going to smell good for that week. Sorry, I'm not going out that other way, man. Seriously. I'm going to come by and be like, you got any food? No. Smell that. Huh? Seriously.
I think I would just embrace it. I would probably just embrace it.
Well, I get it. I think there are people that, and I know that there was a time in my life where I could have, but I don't know.
I'm not saying I'd be happy about being dirty, but if I got a week to live, I don't know how important that becomes.
Hey, kitty. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of those people though are in it for the long haul. Like they've got a plan and they've got they're going to eat these small little rations of some kind of thing that they eat on the space shuttle or whatever, and they got it planned out so that they're going to pop out on the other side of it. But when they pop out on the other side, it's they're gonna stink. I'm sorry, I'm hung up on it. I shouldn't be. I know
they're gonna stink.
Yeah, I know I shouldn't be hung up on it. I really should not. But for whatever reason, I just I find myself slightly hung up on it. Conversations with Christy is going out to get a new journal. I love that.
Good to see you. Conversations with Christy. Been thinking about you.
I've been thinking about you. See this? Mara gets it. There's no Katie Fulton boobs in the apocalypse. Well, then I don't want to go. Huh? You heard it here. If nobody there smells like Katie Fulton's boobs, then I'm just going to skip the apocalypse altogether.
Did you say smells like?
Yeah.
Smells.
We've smells like Katie Fulton's boobs. There's it's a Colts and Crims thing, but there's a really incredible smelling perfume that has been renamed because I'm not exactly sure what the name was, but somewhere along the line, because it did come from Katie Fulton when it first came out of a box, like some of her clothing that smelled like it. And Quibbs was like, "Come here, this is what Katie Fulton's boobs smells like." And I told the story, and it kind of grew into its own thing, so to speak. And now it's now it's a thing.
Interesting. Kate Upton is a much more popular result when I type in Katie Fulton.
Well, there's nothing wrong with Katie. There's nothing wrong with Katie Upton either. She's lovely. Baccarat Rouge. Thank you. Baccarat Rouge is the name of the perfume, or as I like to call it, Katie Fulton's boobs.
Katie Fulton's boobs.
Yeah, it's just a lot easier. I could start a new vampire trend. I like where you're going with this. The bald vampire? Might be able to do that. Do you think we could just maybe look? I kind of dig the whole they don't die thing. I think that there's something to that. I could probably get down with that. I like the idea that they go out at night, have a decent nightlife. But this whole sleeping all day thing, I don't think that's going to work out for me. So we're going to have to work on something for that. Like if it's just about the sunlight, then why can't they just like put up the really dark curtains and just hang out inside? Maybe watch some TV or something. No? Is it me? It's me. Tommy Stiggs, good to see you, my friend. No,
Tommy
that's
Stiggs.
the name of you people. Okay, I have the solution. Use Squirrel and Spanx. Get a house in Bug Tussle. Spanx gets a cat. There you go. And you get a Reese. Well, you know what? It's Calhoun does need a cat.
Is Bum Tussle a place?
Actually, I went with it's actually Bug Tussle, and in a television show that was very, very popular in the late 60s, I think, and early 70s, the Beverly Hillbillies.
Mm-hmm.
Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies came from a town in Tennessee called Bug Tussle. So we didn't want to out the town that we're staying in, right? We don't want to put that little spot on the map, especially without permission. Nobody there wants us to make them, the topic of internet conversation. So we just renamed it and we went with Bug Tussle. But it keeps us from. It's weird. We live in a world now where you can actually, you do have to kind of be careful, and you can't tell people where you're at. There's a lot of weirdos in this world.
Is anyone here going on the cruise? And if you are, what are the dates of that thing? I'm trying to figure this out. Also, in response to these vampire comments, I would be down, but I would need someone to stalk the night for eternity with me. I would not be down to do it alone.
Oh no, I don't think you. I don't think that's the plan, though, right? Don't you always? You always, and I think don't they run in packs?
I don't. I mean, they're not wolves.
No, but I think that they. I mean, I don't mean they literally go out in packs, but I mean, there's you don't see a film where it's like there's one vampire. These days, it seems like every time there's one,
there's a coven.
There's a crap load of others playing cards somewhere or baseball. I understand they play a mean game of baseball.
We do super chats, but I haven't seen any. Am I just missing them?
Tommy, don't you do super chats? I've been known to.
Been known to do that. Are we just missing them or what? Like, because I don't see any.
Well, is that a restream thing? Because here's the thing, people. I've never done restream. I don't know how any of this works. I just popped in here on Spanky's.
There haven't been any super chats today. So we do that. Okay. We're just waiting. We're waiting for them to come in.
Well, Miss Chicago, then you live in an absolutely beautiful part of the state. It's absolutely gorgeous. They have families, but not packs. Okay. All right. One man's family is another man's pack. Working? All right, Tommy Stiggs. I dig watching Tommy in the mornings, man. I don't know that I've ever caught a night Tommy Stiggs, but I don't miss the morning ones. What
There's a night Tommy Stiggs?
Yeah, I'll. On that note, Calhounis, somebody just arrived with a package. Oh, maybe they just left with a package.
It might be a good time to wrap it up. We are having so much fun, but I'm pretty hungry.
Okay.
Unless you want to keep going, I can.
Oh, Mara says I've tried twice to super chat, but they don't go through. If that's the case, then we need to look into.
What could that be?
If I don't know, but if it's related to, I know that we didn't have any problem last night. Right? We got a bunch of them last night. Truly appreciate all of the support. But
Lady Spellbreaker, what's going on?
Good to see you, Lady Spellbreaker.
Izzy E says testing. Well, thank you, Izzy. It's it's working.
It is.
It seems to work. It definitely seems to work, y'all.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah,
they're a lot harder to, you know something? They're not highlighted at all. I don't know what it looks like on your screen, but I can't.
They're highlighted for me.
Oh, thank God. You should see what it looks like on my end.
They're blue and green and orange.
Oh, that would be lovely. I don't get that at all over here. That would freak me out. All righty.
Can you click on the chat?
Can I click on the chat?
Yeah,
just pick any of them?
Yeah, pick one.
Nope.
I wonder if I can give you that permission. We'll have to.
I'm slapping Robin Miners around up here like you wouldn't believe, and nothing is happening. V. McWilliams, I'm smacking her around. Squirrel, do you know that the only time Squirrel climbs over me to get in the basket is when we're live? Any other time, she just jumps straight into whatever. She wants to do that because she wants the audience to see her. She's a consummate professional.
I think I changed it. Try it again. Nope. It's unfortunate. It's okay.
Alrighty then.
I do good. I appreciate you guys. Any closing thoughts, Deb?
You know what? This is
talked a lot about journaling, dreaming.
Well, I'm a broken record. I'm a broken record. And I'm always it's always going to continue to come back to this because I don't care, right? We're all in the same boat. And I'm probably going to offend some people, but if you're not trying to figure out who you are, right, and how you fit into this entire big picture kind of a thing, right? Why are you here? What are you supposed to do? I kind of wonder what's going on. The people that don't kind of question those things freak me out. They really do. And I think that more than sobriety and more than weight loss and more than anything, this is a channel about digging deep and finding out who and what you are. Right? Why you do the things that you do. And you're going to find out with conversations with really close friends. And you're going to find out by writing things down, right, in journals. If you're not putting pen to paper every single day, you are not going to get what you want. I promise. It's a broken record, but it's a stone cold fact. Hold on a second. You see that right there, Calhoun? That is a cat in a basket. But if I tried to pick that cat up, she's in that kind of dicey position. You know what I mean? You just can't. Yes, I absolutely love Robin Miners. That's why I felt comfortable picking on her in particular. I love Robin.
Well, that's very interesting. I wonder what's going on. I wonder if I should reach out to the big red button and see what the heck.
Let me see something here. Nope, I still can't touch. I was Carol Stewart that time. I was high-fiving. It didn't work there either. The more we learn to love ourselves, the more we want a healthier self. I love that. It's a fact. Oh, look at this. Look who has decided to cooperate.
Oh, look at
that.
Her. She's so cute.
Is a cat in a basket.
Hi, squirrel.
Did you see the second installment of the cat in the basket stuff? Man, that is so funny. Have you seen the first or have you not?
Yeah, I saw the first one.
Okay, yeah, there's a second one too. Conversations with Christy says her channel should be back in full swing next week. Awesome. Like to hear it.
I hope the family as well. I hope everything's getting moving in a positive direction over there, Christy. Nana of 2 says, appreciate you both. Jimenez says, this was an awesome conversation. I have to drop. Have a great day. Love you. Love you too.
Love you too, for real. Humana,
Shannon
glad.
Smith says, I need to know who I am. We're figuring it out
Right?
little by little, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You do realize this is scary as crap, but you do realize that there is a massive chunk of the population that is just cool trucking through life without any care at all. They're just going to get up, do what they do, and someday they're going to lay down. It's going to be the last day, and they literally will have coasted through this entire thing in bliss, unaware that they should even be thinking of such things.
Must be nice, right?
Must be
I'm
nice.
not wired that way.
I'm not either, man. I have this overwhelming desire to find out what the heck is going on. And you know what? Since I started doing it, I'm such a better person. I really am. I'm not a great guy and I'm not a guru, but I am so much better a person than I used to be. I really am. It's a daily struggle, but it's worth it. All right, peeps. On that note, I am off like a herd of turtles. And one more time so that Kathy Ann can, at a later date, make it a really easy edit. All right, Spanky. And this is a cat in a basket.